And, I just hope that this support continues with the losses along with the wins. I think that
she walked into the lion's den and came out breathing fire, Alex Eala's Roman masterclass, and why the whole world is watching her now. Let's get one thing straight before we even begin. When you walk into the Foro Italico in Rome, Italy, under the ancient gaze of the Stadio dei Marmi statues, with the terracotta clay stretching out in front of you and 20,000 tennis fans buzzing in the stands, you do not just show up and swing a racket. You show up with your whole soul on the line. You show up knowing that every error will be amplified, every winner will echo, and every moment of doubt will be broadcast to the entire world. Now imagine being 20 years old, ranked 42nd on the planet, and your opponent is Elena Rybakina, the world number 2, a 6-foot-tall Kazakh powerhouse with a serve that sounds like a thunderclap and a ground game that has been described as a wrecking ball in human form. That is precisely the situation Alex Eala walked into on the evening of May 10, 2026, at the BNP Paribas Arena in Rome. And what happened next is the reason we are here right now, the reason the Philippines is buzzing, the reason tennis Twitter exploded, and the reason this video is going to live rent-free in your head for a very, very long time.
But for the pride of the Philippines, Eala, she's already improved upon her previous clay court record this year, coming in with 2 wins. She's picked up 2 in Rome. Can she make it 3 in a row?
Welcome back to Court Vision Plus, the channel that doesn't just show you the score, we show you the story behind the score. And today, the story is Alex Eala, the Roman clay, and what happened when a Filipino lioness went face-to-face with one of the most dangerous tennis players on earth. Let us paint this picture properly, because context is everything in tennis, and the context here is absolutely staggering. Coming into this Italian Open, Alex Eala had been on a mission. She kicked things off in the first round by dismantling Poland's Magdalena Frek in a gritty, grinding 3-setter, 6-0, 3-6, 6-4, which was already a statement. Then, in the second round, she took on Wang Xinyu of China, the Paris 2024 Olympic silver medalist, someone who had beaten Eala in their only previous meeting in Auckland earlier this year. Eala came out and reversed the scoreline, winning 6-4, 6-3, in what was a commanding, confident display. That victory made history right then and there. It was the first time in her career that Alex Eala had reached the third round of a WTA 1000 clay court tournament. Let that sink in for a second, a major milestone, achieved not in practice, not in a wildcard tournament, but at one of the most prestigious clay court events in the entire world. Rome. The Foro Italico. Where legends are made.
What a comeback set of tennis that is from the...
So she was already flying high, already printing history with every footstep on that red clay, when the draw handed her the most brutal possible reward for her excellence, a date with Elena Rybakina. The woman who, as of January 2026, had added a second Grand Slam title to her name, winning the Australian Open by beating Aryna Sabalenka in the final. The woman who came into this match with an almost incomprehensible record of 29 wins and just 6 losses in 2026 alone. The woman who had a 24-2 record and completed WTA 1000 matches after winning the first set. In case you are wondering, yes, those numbers are just absurd. Elena Rybakina was not just playing good tennis in 2026. She was playing extraterrestrial tennis. And here is the detail that really makes your jaw drop. Before Eala's match, Rybakina's team actually discussed how they would prepare for a left-handed player like Alex. They didn't dismiss Eala as a walkover. They actually strategized specifically for her. They took her seriously enough to go out and practice against a left-handed sparring partner to prepare for her particular style of play. That is not what happens when you are a pushover. That is what happens when your opponent's camp is a little bit scared of you. Now let's get into the match itself, because the score, 6-4, 6-3 in Rybakina's favor, does absolutely zero justice to how competitive this contest actually was.
Get things going. She won the toss, elected to serve first. She'll do so.
0. The match was tight from the very first point. In fact, the opening game alone required 11 points just for Eala to hold serve. 11 points in a single game. That right there told you everything about the intensity and the level of tennis being played. These two were not playing a casual afternoon hit. They were in a battle from the jump. The decisive moment in the first set came between the second and the fourth games, where Rybakina ground out a crucial service break in a 13-point marathon game. 13 points in a single game, that is the kind of extended, exhausting rallying that leaves your legs burning and your lungs screaming. Rybakina won it, but only barely, and only because she had just a fraction more experience navigating those kinds of high-pressure situations. From there, the two players essentially locked horns, trading holds from the fifth game all the way through to the 10th, with neither willing to blink. Rybakina closed out the first set 6-4, but make no mistake, she had to work for every single point. In the second set, something incredible happened. Rybakina broke serve in the opening game, looked like she was about to run away with it, and the world braced for a comfortable victory. Then Alex Eala decided she had other plans. She broke straight back. And then she held. All of a sudden, the 20-year-old from Manila was leading 2-1 in the second set against the world number 2, the reigning Australian Open champion, a two-time Grand Slam winner. The crowd was buzzing.
First forehand, loose error from Rybakina. I think landing shorter than she was anticipating, so just didn't quite get up to the ball.
Eala was swinging freely, moving well, and looking completely unafraid. The pattern continued. Both players traded holds
through that
until
backhand
Rybakina
better.
delivered one final, decisive service break in the 10th game to seal the match. But here is the statistic that absolutely everybody needs to hear. Alex Eala finished this match with a first serve percentage of 67%. Elena Rybakina's first serve percentage was 62%. Alex Eala, the 20-year-old ranked 42nd in the world, actually outserved the world number 2 on first serve percentage. Let that number rattle around in your brain for a moment. The difference in the match came down to Rybakina's edge on return points. She won 47% of return points across the match, and her power advantage, particularly that sledgehammer serve that produced 4 aces compared to Eala's 1.
Her body was good, her mind was good.
Rybakina also delivered 28 winners on the day. But the contest, statistically, was far, far tighter than the scoreboard suggests. The 20-year-old record against top 10 opponents now stands at 3 wins and 4 losses. That record tells you that Alex Eala beating top 10 players is not a fluke, it is a pattern. It has happened before, most memorably when she shocked Iga Swiatek, then the world number 2, during her sensational run to the Miami Open semifinals in 2025, which remains one of the most stunning upsets in recent WTA history. Rybakina on this particular day in Rome proved to be a wall that Eala couldn't quite break down, but the gap, and this is crucial, was not a canyon. It was a crack. A crack that Eala is actively working to close every single time she steps on court. After the match, Eala walked into the post-match press conference and she was composed, measured, and honest in that remarkable way she always is. She said, and these words matter, "Yeah, I'm happy with my performance. I think I was able to reach a good level of tennis and I don't think it was an easy win for her. Things to work on and learnings from this match, but I think I'm in a good way. There were very competitive games, but I think that she has the capacity to win a couple more free points, and of course she's much more experienced than I am. She's the reigning Grand Slam champ. She hits a good ball, so it's very difficult to be aggressive. I think today, I did what I could." And then she went on Instagram, 2 words about Rome, pure and simple, Rome heard me this time. Grazie mille. That is it. No drama. No excuses. No self-pity. Just gratitude, grace, and a quiet confidence that tells you everything you need to know about this young woman's character. Now, let's zoom out even further and talk about the broader picture of Alex Eala's 2026 season, because this Roman campaign didn't happen in isolation. This has been a year of extraordinary growth, punctuated by some inevitable bumps, and what is emerging is the portrait of a player who is finding her footing at the very highest level of professional tennis in real time, in front of all of us. She started 2026 by climbing to a career-high ranking of 49 in January during a stellar run at the ASB Classic. By March, after her incredible Indian Wells campaign, she was up to number 29 in the world, more than 100 places higher than where she had been at the same point in 2025. That is not slow, steady progress. That is a rocket ship. She had to navigate the inevitable difficulty of defending heavy points after reaching the Miami Open semifinals in 2025, and she dropped back down to the mid-40s as a result of those defending obligations working against her on the rankings calculator. But even that slide, even that momentary setback, she handled with the kind of poise that you simply cannot teach. Throughout the clay season specifically, in Linz, in Stuttgart, in Madrid, she faced some turbulence. The clay has genuinely been the one surface where the full Eala experience has yet to unlock. Former top 5 player Greg Rosetsky said publicly that he would love to see Eala crack the top 20 of the world during the clay season, adding that her matches sell out automatically and that she is a massive positive for the WTA Tour. "We need more stars, we need more names, and we need new people," he said. And she opens up a marketplace, and people just love her. Rosetsky also pointed out something that is enormously significant for Eala's clay development, her time at the Rafa Nadal Academy, where she trained and graduated, and where players like Iga Swiatek, 4-time French Open champion, were present. Swiatek even gave the graduation speech at Eala's ceremony at the Academy. The relationship between these two players, between the mentorship of Nadal's training philosophy and Eala's emerging game, is something that will continue to pay dividends as her career matures. Now we have to address something that has been floating around in conversations online, in comment sections, and across social media following Eala's exit in Rome, and that is the question of criticism. Because whenever a young, exciting, headline-grabbing player like Alex Eala loses a match, especially at a big event, the noise machine cranks up. The takes start flying. Some people who have never picked up a tennis racket in their lives begin delivering verdicts on her game, her future, and her place in the sport. And this is where we have to speak plainly and directly. Alex Eala is 20 years old. She will turn 21 on May 23rd, literally in a matter of days from this match. She is ranked 42nd in the world. She just reached the third round of a WTA 1000 clay court event for the very first time in her career, defeating an Olympic silver medalist along the way, before losing in straight sets to the world number 2, who has a 29-6 record in 2026 and won the Australian Open this year. If you are watching that sequence of events and your primary takeaway is disappointment or criticism, you need to recalibrate your expectations in a very serious way. This is relevant, too, because the narrative framing of the original piece we're building from references Serena Williams in the context of supporting Eala's journey, and while there is no confirmed, explicit public statement from Serena directly addressing this particular match, the connection is deeply resonant and worth exploring. Alex Eala herself, when asked earlier this year about her dream opponents, named Serena Williams as one of the players she would most love to face on the tour. Williams has been rumored to be considering a return to professional tennis for years after her retirement at the 2022 U.S. Open, and Eala's dream of crossing paths with the greatest of all time reflects something real about the ambition that drives this young player every single day. Think about what Serena went through. Think about the narratives she battled. Think about the times the world wrote her off, dismissed her, questioned whether she belonged, debated whether her best days were behind her. And then think about what she did in response, every single time. She came back stronger. She came back hungrier. She came back and she put those doubters to bed with trophies and championships and performances that defied logic and expectation. That is the Serena Williams template. That is the blueprint that the greatest female tennis player in history gave to every young woman who dares to dream big in this sport. And if you look at Alex Eala, if you study the arc of her 2026 season, if you read her post-match words and watch how she carries herself in defeat, you can see the outline of that same blueprint beginning to take shape. And let us be clear about something else. The clay season for Alex Eala is absolutely not over. Far from it. After Rome, she is heading to Parma for the WTA 125 Parma Ladies Open, running from May 12th to the 17th. Which gives her an immediate opportunity to bank confidence and wins on red clay. Then comes Strasbourg, the Internationaux de Strasbourg Open from May 17th to the 23rd, where she is listed in the qualifying draw as she looks to battle her way into the main draw. And then, the main event. The big one. The tournament that has eluded her so far in terms of deep runs, but that represents the grandest possible stage for everything she has been building. Roland Garros. The French Open. Paris. Starting May 24th and running all the way through June 7th. The same red clay that she has been fighting to master. The same surface where her academy training under the Nadal philosophy was supposed to pay its greatest dividends. The stage is set for something special. Let's also give the appropriate credit to Elena Rybakina here, because this is a two-player story. Rybakina, who beat Eala 6-4, 6-3, is playing some of the most dominant tennis on the planet right now. She came into the Italian Open having won 24 of 26 completed WTA 1000 matches after taking the first set. She won the 2026 Australian Open. She has 13 career singles titles. On this particular day in Rome, on the surface she is considered least comfortable on, clay, she still found a way to grind out a professional, experienced win against a player who pushed her hard. Rybakina's serving was the decisive weapon, 4 aces to Eala's 1, and despite a lower first serve percentage, the sheer weight and pace of her delivery made life extremely difficult for the Filipina. When you are 2 meters tall and you can serve like that, even when you miss your spots, the ball is still coming at the returner like a heat-seeking missile. Rybakina, after advancing to the round of 16, set up a match against either Laura Siegemund or Karolina Pliskova. "Rome heard me this time," she said. "And we heard you too, Alex. Every single one of us heard you. The red clay absorbed your fire, just as it absorbs the sweat and the tears and the legacy of every great player who ever stood in that Foro Italico arena. And what it gives back, to those who pour themselves into it, to those who compete with courage and intelligence and refuse to be small, is momentum. It is credibility. It is proof. Rome heard Alex Eala in 2026 and the rest of the world is about to hear her even louder in Paris. The clay season is not over. The story is not finished. The revolution has only just begun. And now we want to hear from you, because that is what this community is all about. Do you believe Alex Eala is going to make a deep run at the French Open? Can she replicate the magic of Miami on the red clay of Paris? Drop a Paris ready in the comments right now and let us know you believe in this journey. If you are feeling brave, tell us how far you think she goes at Roland Garros, round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal, dare to dream big. And if you have been riding with Court Vision Plus for a while, you already know what comes next. If this video got your blood pumping, if you felt that electricity watching Alex Eala's Roman story unfold, hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it tells us you want more content exactly like this. Subscribe if you are not already part of the Court Vision Plus family, because we cover every angle, every match, every milestone of the players and stories that matter most in the world of tennis. Ring that notification bell so you never miss a single video, because trust us, with the French Open right around the corner, the content is only going to get bigger, louder, and more exciting from here. This is Court Vision Plus. We will see you on the other side of Paris.
Really accelerated through that backhand better, Elena.